going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
These are good problems to have, right? So much success that you have more than one place to be.
Fly-Bray, touchdown, Oregon.
Off the dribble, launches, and hits the three. Oregon leads.
What a great opportunity it is to be able to play at the University of Oregon.
I'm just incredibly proud to be a part of something like this.
She wants another three. Oh, three in a row.
Swing and a miss. Oregon is headed to the Super Regional.
Fans being out there making this a great impact.
We are so privileged and so fortunate. We get to see all these young people. We get to see this incredible growth, which is what college is all about.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
What a week, what a week, what a week. Oh my goodness. That was, for me in my time here, the best weekend that I've ever had at the University of Oregon across the board. It was absolutely amazing. I asked Joey, who's been here a little bit longer than me, and he said, yeah, I don't know many weekends to rival it. I've asked Jerry, who's been here a few more years than that, and he said, I don't know. That was a really, really, really good weekend. I don't know what was going on throughout the course of the entire week, but what I do know is that Oregon got it done in every capacity. This week was deemed mighty big week because Oregon had volleyball, soccer, football, cross country, college game day, all here in Eugene. The Ducks went undefeated on mighty big week. Big shout out to everyone involved, especially the marketing department and everyone who was out. I know it was a long weekend for everybody. I know that especially on Sunday for soccer and volleyball, coming off of Saturday night, it might have taken a little more energy to get out of bed and get to Matthew Knight Arena or get to Pape Field. It didn't matter. It really did not matter because every single person showed up in droves. There was so much work that was put in, especially on Saturday. Showing up to college game day. Some of the staff here was there at 2, 3 in the morning. I know some of you fans were there camping out overnight. It was awesome. We're lively from literal dawn to dusk. It was fantastic. It was fantastic on Saturday, the whole week. The Mighty Big Week recap, Wednesday, volleyball, wins against USC. Thursday, soccer, draws against an undefeated Michigan State team. Friday at the Dellinger, Maddie Elmore wins the Dellinger. Both the men and women of Oregon placed number 2 on the podium. Oregon wins against Ohio State in an instant classic. And then on Sunday, soccer draws on senior day against Michigan, and volleyball with a comeback win against Washington in 5 sets, where the Ducks were down 10-5 in the 5th. It didn't matter. The energy in Matthew Knight Arena was electric, and a huge, huge thanks to all the fans who watched, and especially everybody who showed up to any one of the events. But the biggest of the events was on Saturday in number 2 versus number 3 at Autzen Stadium, potentially the game of the year in college football in the preseason, and boy, did it live up to the hype. I don't know if my blood pressure's come down yet from that game. Scott, has yours? Scott's still hyped up. I don't know. That was such a tremendous, tremendous, tremendous game. The fans were awesome. The fans, by the way, 4 false start penalties and a delay of game. That's you guys. That's you guys making a difference. That was absolutely, absolutely, absolutely fantastic. Potentially the best football game I've ever been to, I've ever seen. It was... I'm honestly, I'm at a loss for words. I still haven't been able to contextualize what Saturday was because that was absolutely electric, packed in to what was a mighty, mighty, mighty big, big, big week. All right, let's get to the game. It was big time. Scott had to trim down the game recap to 3 minutes. It could have been a 15-minute game recap. Yeah, it was. We did our best to fit it all in. This is what happened on Saturday.
But Big Ten doesn't even begin to describe how big the biggest game maybe in the history of Autzen Stadium. Motioning back now, Tate. Here's a handoff up the middle. Judkins is hit, and will get back to the line of scrimmage, and that is all.
Derek Harmon met Quinshon Judkins in the hole right when he hit him. His hands didn't wrap up Quinshon Judkins. They wrapped up the football.
Turn back, give it to James. Up the middle, inside, 2-1. Did he get there? Yes! Jordan James! Great blocking up the front out of the I formation. Second down and 12 and a snap back to throw. With time. Wants to go deep. Oh, he's got it. Pitch is there for Stewart. Stewart down the sideline in the 30. Inside of the 25. Still on his feet inside the 10-yard line. And finally down at the 7. Gabriel snap and back to throw. Looks left. Going to go for the route in the corner. And catch. Touchdown. Yes! Stewart with a grab. Evan Stewart with a great fade route on the left-hand side of the end zone. Kickoff's coming from the 50-yard line. And it's going to be a squibber. It hit one of the up men. That ball's up for grabs. That ball's up for grabs. Yes! Ducks got the ball. Gabriel. Pressure comes. It's picked up. Gabriel wants to go deep. He's got Tez. Down at the 10. Touchdown! Tez Johnson! A perfectly thrown ball from Dylan Gabriel. Ohio State showing pressure. Gave it to he kept it. He's going to get a first down or more. 20. Inside a block at the 10. To the 5. Touchdown! Dylan Gabriel! You thought I gave the ball away. Looky what I got. Home. 6 points. Touchdown. 3 receivers out to the right. Snap and back to throw. With time. Step. Throw. Ferguson catch and run. 30. Lowers his head. Goes to the 25-yard line. Snap, hold, kick, long, plenty, straight, good! Sappington gives Oregon the lead back, 32-31 with 1:47 remaining. Howard steps back to throw, looks right, pump fake, now will run, and has room and hooks down at the 28-yard line, but the clock has run out. The clock has run out. Game is over. It's a final. Oregon is defeated, number 2 Ohio State, 32-31. It's officially over. What a crazy finish to one of the best football games we've witnessed at Autzen Stadium.
That was phenomenal. That was phenomenal. I was in the booth with Jerry and Jorgie and Joey after the game or during the game, and that final play was happening, and Will Howard slides down, and we're looking up at the clock. We're like, is there a second left? We see Ryan Day on the sideline trying to call timeout. What are the officials going to do? What are the officials going to do? And the moment of elation when they let everybody rush out onto the field and say, it's over, it's over. Oh, my goodness. I think I'll remember that for a really, really, really long time. In our postgame, actually, Dusty Hara went down to the locker room, asked Dan Lanning, said, Coach, you always want to be 1-0, but this one, did it feel a little different? And Coach, he paused for a second. He said, well, I want to say no, but that one was a little different. It felt great. It felt great being at Autzen Stadium, and it feels great to still be undefeated and the number 2 team in the country. This is not going to be the interview with Dan Lanning with Dusty Hara, but it is going to be Dan Lanning's post-game reactions with the general media, brought to you by Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center, better cancer care close to home. Dan Lanning, after what was a huge win for Oregon this season, potentially one of the biggest in the history of the program. Here's Coach Lanning postgame.
Anybody got a heart rate monitor? What an unbelievable atmosphere tonight. Our fans, man, they made such a difference. We're so proud of them. You know, we talked all week with our players about taking jabs. Right, taking jabs. It's not about throwing haymakers. It's about being accurate and precise with jabs. Right, and just the next play is the most important play, and I thought they really owned that tonight. We talked about coming in this game that we have to outrush our opponent. We have to out-physical our opponent. We outrushed Ohio State. We talked about field position in this game and how important that was going to be. I thought we gave them some long fields, and that is a great team that we just played. I mean, a lot of credit to Coach Day and the team that he's assembled and put together. They are really, really good. right? And there's going to be still, we talked about before this game even was played, regardless of result, really everything's still on the table, for both teams. So I know that they're going to put themselves in position to continue to compete and be in great shape the rest of the season. But I couldn't be more proud of our guys. I couldn't be more proud of our coaches. I couldn't be more proud of just getting the opportunity to get to sit in the seat I sit in, because there's moments I certainly don't deserve it, and I thought our team was just unbelievable tonight. So thank you for that atmosphere, and we can open it up.
Your thoughts on Jordan James' performance and just the offensive line in front of him, what they were to do to just match the physicality of this Ohio State defense?
Yeah, I mean, Jordan, man, he runs like he's pissed off all the time. And we see it every day in practice. Before the game started, he came up to me and said, "Coach, I got you," right? And I know when he says that, he meant it. And he took advantage of those opportunities he got today. And he'd be the first one to tell you it was about the schematic advantages that Coach Stein and the offensive staff created, the blocking that Coach Terry's crew did, the O-line. Again, I'm going to go back and watch this film, and I'm going to try to find how many times we see 11 guys with their hats on somebody, right, giving us an opportunity, right, to be able to create a big run. And Jordan was a beast tonight. I'm really proud of him.
If it's possible at all, can you put into words how excited you are right now and how rewarding this feeling is after all the hard work that you guys have put in?
What's so hard about football is this game is such an emotional game. It's such an impactful game. And in moments like this where you want to be filled with complete joy, the relief is one of the biggest feelings you feel, right? Because of how hard your guys worked, how bad they wanted it. But it's never about the team that wants it the most. It's never about the team that just has great emotion. It's about the team that executes. So, I'm filled with great excitement. I'm really proud of our guys, but I'm also really excited to figure out what we can go attack and improve, because the team we are today, October 12th, is not going to be the same team we are in December.
Dan, earlier in the week, we talked about putting safeties in conflict and how they maybe hadn't seen very much of that. On Dylan's touchdown run, that was putting a safety in conflict, and it was against him with your two tight ends to the outside. Just walk me through the call and when you see it unfurling, what you're thinking once you do have the matchup you want.
Yeah, unbelievable decision there by Dylan. You hope that you give an opportunity for your players to see every look that they could possibly see within the week, but it's just not reality. So I don't know how many times Dylan actually got to see that exact look, of a tight crash, from the edge. But he did an unbelievable job pulling the ball there in that moment. And then again, if you look at that play, you're going to see guys with bodies on bodies down the field, blocking their tail off for him so he can create a big play.
Talk us through that last offensive possession. Kind of when did it get the field goal, get the points, and just kind of what was the process there?
Yeah, we were trying to score a touchdown the whole time, right? But we knew it was an advantage to keep the clock running, so they'd have to utilize their timeouts and wouldn't have as many opportunities left there at the end. We felt like they could really come out with a lot of options if they had all three timeouts there at the end. So we were trying to score. We were trying to score on the last play there, on that third down play at the goal line, and they were able to get a great stop. So we kicked the field goal and said, let's play defense.
Jordan Birch's injury this week, how were you guys able to get past that? And what do you just make of the performance of your guys? He was such a key piece, and they stood up big against a really good offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's a really talented team that we just played. And Jordan is certainly a loss for us. You don't replace a Jordan. He's been unbelievable this season. But in football, it's about the next man up. And I know Jordan's probably sitting at home just as proud of these guys being able to do next man up mentality. We thought there might be a chance that we would be able to, see him out there. We weren't able to see him out there, but we always want to protect our players first. And Jordan is just, you talk about the year that young man's having. I hurt for him because I know how much he wanted to be a part of this moment. But you talk about next man up, right? And some guys showed up tonight.
Coach, a lot of back and forth tonight between you and the Buckeyes. Can you just talk about the momentum swings and how you guys were able to kind of manage those as the game wore on?
We talk about a heavyweight fight, right? A heavyweight fight in this game, and we knew it could go, every round. And it was a back and forth. When you play a really good team, you're going to have to be able to battle in tight games like this. And, there's some decisions that could go one way or the other. I'm sure people have thoughts on. But we played aggressive tonight. We played to win the game. And our guys went out there and executed in critical moments. So, again, I can't say enough great things about that team that we just played. That's an elite football team that we just played. They're really, really talented. They don't have weaknesses. But our guys did just enough tonight to be able to edge it out.
With the structure of the playoff being different this year, it's not like this game necessarily has less meaning because there is more wiggle room for error for teams. But, with that context, how do you prepare a team for a game like this knowing that, perfection is not so do or die anymore?
You saying, is it okay to lose? Is that what you're saying?
Perhaps.
I mean, like I said at the beginning, we knew that regardless of the result of this game, every single one of our goals were in front of us, right? But certainly having a win, affects your ability to accomplish your goals later on in the end of the season. We always go into every game with the mindset of what can we do, everything that we can do to prepare to win a game, right? I thought our guys prepared. They prepared all week. Unbelievable. I think they worked really hard in the week. This isn't one of those weeks where you got to motivate guys to work, and this isn't one of those teams that I have to go motivate to work. They embrace it. There's been moments this season where I'm telling the guys, hey, we're going to be in Spiders this week, and they're like, no, Coach, we're going to be in Pats. Right? When you have moments like that, that's when you realize you got a team that's going to be really successful.
Dan, you just talk about Dylan Gabriel tonight. I know there was so much criticism about miscues in the red zone coming into this game, but he delivered for you night after night tonight, and especially being able to pick on their top corner perhaps and Denzel Burke. What did you think of his performance and where he stands as one of the top quarterbacks in the nation potentially?
Yeah, I can't say enough great things about Dylan, and Dylan again would be the first one to tell you that start talking about his teammates. But every time I went and looked at his eyes tonight, I saw a guy that was composed, ready for his next moment. And you know what, he threw for 340 yards, 2 touchdowns. Had a huge pull on that run, down in the red area. He played really, really well tonight in some really big moments. So proud of his performance, and I know he'd be the one to tell you that he's proud about the people that were around him that helped that performance, be possible.
Dan, it feels like it was 17 or 18 hours ago now, but that
it's a long game, wasn't it?
That interception that Bassa had on the first series. What did you see on that? Why do you think it went down the way it did?
I was asking. I mean, I thought there might be a review on the field. I feel like they missed that opportunity, and we were trying to get information from up top of if they can see it. You hate to waste a timeout that early if you're wrong, with a potential challenge. But that's certainly one that you hope gets buzzed in when it's that close, and it didn't. And I'm not sure why, but again, it's about the next play. So we got pretty excited on that play. We almost didn't get back for the next play, but those things happen.
Yeah, Dan, the way that Dylan played tonight, what can that do for you guys and your team going forward? A lot of season still left.
Yeah, consistent performance, right? And in the game of football, it's about what you've done for me lately. So for him, it's about continued growth, and I know he'll be a guy that attacks that more than anybody else. And you want to enjoy this moment for a little bit. It's a special moment tonight, but it's about building on it. And I know Dylan will be the first one to go attack that and find ways to improve his game.
That's the first half of the post-game interview from Coach Lanning. There was strong execution in critical moments. I thought that was really, really key. Things could have swung here and there, and the point differential might have been even more if things swing here or there. But in the critical moments when it mattered, Oregon came to play. More coming from Coach Lanning's post-game when we return on Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back inside the Country Financial Studio. Duck Insider brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. We're still talking about the barn burner of a football game that was on Saturday. A 32-31 win for the Ducks. Coach Lanning gave us the first half of his thoughts. There's still so much more to dissect from Coach Lanning postgame. Let's hear more thoughts from the head man, Dan Lanning.
Can you talk a little bit about you try to build a program to a certain degree to beat programs like Ohio State, no Jordan, the way you won up front? Is there a sense of validation that you're building it the way it's supposed to be built when you win a game like this? Is that maybe an overstatement?
You know, I think I say this a lot, that winning football is winning football. I don't care about anybody else's opinion, right? That's one thing that we're not really big on, is what anybody else thinks. So we don't need validation from everybody else, but we do believe in validation of the process. So when we go back and evaluate our process tonight, you know, we're going to find the moments that we thought we got better. We're going to find the things that we can go improve on and attack them.
Coach, how do you sort of sum up this win for this team? You talked about, you know, the process and having that payoff in the end, all the work that you guys put in, your long day, I mean, starting with game day and the emotions of that to coming into that locker room over there and celebrating with your team.
I felt like there was a lot of questions in there, but I'll just say, maybe there weren't, but I mean, you can sleep when you die, right? You get an opportunity to do this, like the day that we got to have the day, like how awesome is Oregon? How awesome is getting to coach at this place? Our fans, our players, man, those guys work so dang hard to get moments like this. And again, you might not believe me, but regardless of result, I was going to be so proud of our guys and how they competed tonight because I know how hard they work, right? And they left, asked them before the game to leave it all on the field, give me everything you got, and they did that tonight.
Coach, from what I could see on the Jumbotron in the middle of that field storm, I think that's the most emotional I've ever seen you after a game. Just what was going through your head down on that field?
Yeah, it's a fun moment, man. Fun. It's a fun moment that I know that everyone in that stadium that's wearing green got to enjoy and celebrate, and everybody that worked so hard got to enjoy. And for me, you know, that's the rewarding part, is that so many other people could share joy in a moment like that. You know, our players, our fans, the people this program means so much to. You know, that's as much for them as anybody else. And I was glad that they got to have that moment tonight.
Couple extra possessions for you guys. You get the Derek Harmon fumble recovery there in the first half to get momentum back, and then also the kickoff recovery. I was wondering if you could take us through both those plays, and especially that second one, if that it almost didn't look intentional.
Yeah, so it was intentional. You know, you could go back and second guess. We felt strong about our gate play that we had going in. You know, so we had the ability to potentially move the ball up and do a 2-point conversion from a little bit shorter, or take the 15-yard penalty on the kickoff. And, you know, I felt confident in our kickoff option that there's a great chance that we might be able to hit one of their players and get the ball to bounce back. If it doesn't hit one of them, it's going to be a squib, opportunity to pin them inside the 20. So feeling good about, you know, the gate play that we had called. You know, Kenyon gets tripped up. I think they did a good job of making a play in the backfield. We didn't get that, and that's definitely one that everybody can, you know, kind of go back and second guess. Do you take that penalty, get us a little bit closer to the, you know, the end zone for the opportunity to go for two? But that probably eliminates that kick from the 50 where we're hitting a player. So I thought it was a great example of our guys not flinching. They knew when we were kicking from the 50 exactly what the plan was. Hey, we're going to try to kick one right off this guy. If it doesn't hit him, we have an opportunity to pin him deep, you know, inside the 20. And they executed at a really high level. So.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. You know, you talked about game day and how the crowd and the community was all behind you guys. How important was this win, not just for the football program, but for the entire university in your eyes?
For the entire what?
University.
Yeah, huge, man. You know, Oregon's a winner, and our fans, you know, were they up last night at like 10? I mean, they were 10 at night camping out for game day, that experience. You know, or up early this morning, unbelievable crowd this morning, all the way through the game, right? I don't know if anybody sat down the entire game, but we felt them the entire game. I mean, I had to cover my ear. I wear a single earpiece. I had to cover my ear a lot of the game to be able to communicate and hear, and that's a good thing. So we asked them to yell from the minute they got in to the minute they left, and they did an unbelievable job of that.
Hey, Coach. Evan Stewart, 150 receiving yards tonight. What can you say about his performance and then just overall your receivers?
I'm proud of him, man, and I'm maybe more proud that up until this moment, there's been moments where Evan's been able to break out. And there's been moments where maybe the ball didn't get to him or it didn't fall his way, and you never once hear Evan say anything about that. He knew when his opportunity came, he'd get an opportunity to take advantage of it, and he took advantage of his opportunities tonight. He was a weapon out there for us, and really proud of that performance.
Coach, throughout Dylan Gabriel's career, he's proven that he steps up in the biggest games. What have you seen from him during his time here that allows him to be so successful when the lights are brightest?
Yeah, it's hard to replace experience, right? This guy's been a part of, some games that are really, really big moments. And, even though that stadium's packed, you feel like Dylan was out there operating with an empty place. An empty stadium, like this was Tuesday, like this was another practice, and just executing at a high level, be able to say the next play is the most important play. And he did that consistently tonight, focusing on what's next and how can he accomplish it.
Dan, I know there's a lot of football left in this season, obviously, as you'd be the first to say. But looking back at the journey this program's been on in the last couple of years, from that trip to Atlanta to this moment, what stands out to you? What can you say about that journey that these young men have been on?
Well, there's been a lot of growth, but I'd say we're not done, right? And there's a lot more to do. And I think everybody in that locker room feels that same way. Am I pleased with the growth that we've had so far? Absolutely. And every single person's a part of that, right? Not me, not just our coaches, not just our players. It's the whole community, the whole University of Oregon, our fans, elite players making the decision to come here when they got options to go anywhere in the United States. All those things add up, and we always talk about 1 + 1 + 1, right? That's how you get real gains, and everything matters, right? From the fans, from the people that help clean this building, from the support staff that don't get paid and sleep on the couch. Like, every piece adds up, and when everybody pulls their weight, you can get great results like you did tonight.
Ohio State has one of the best rushing duos in the nation. You guys held them to a combined 110 yards. What did you see from your defensive line, their ability to limit them tonight?
Well, that was a really big focus for us. If you look at their 6 losses, I think in the last 3 years, and, every one of those losses, their opponent had outrushed them, right? So that was something that we were really focused on, that we had to come in here and be a more physical team, and we knew they were going to be hard to run against. But we also knew that we were never going to abandon the run and continue to focus on it. So that was a goal all week for us, to outrush our opponent, and our guys did that tonight.
Ohio State had 0 plays of 30 yards or more going into this one. You had 3 just the first half alone. What did you guys see in preparing for this to do that, and then how much did that help the run game, having to pull them back?
Yeah, I think sometimes when you play an offense like this, your first answer is like, you want to be aggressive and take away everything. And we knew that if we played the game like that we were going to give up some explosive plays. So we wanted to wait. We wanted to take opportunities to pitch to them. And I think if you look, really their offense was in rhythm, probably at times maybe better even than ours. I think they had a lot of first downs. It wasn't like bleed a slow death for us. We wanted to be aggressive, but aggressive in moments. And again, look for the right times to throw haymakers, but making sure that we eliminated explosive plays. I thought Coach Lepoy did a really good job of that tonight. The defensive staff did a really good job of, calming ourselves and not feeling like we had to be extremely aggressive in moments when it didn't dictate those moments, us being aggressive. And again, you have to be able to win up front, right, to be able to do that. You got to be able to do more with less. And we had some guys up front that did more with less tonight.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate you guys.
Congrats on the win.
If you see any good players, tell them to come here.
I like that at the end from Coach Lanning. If any of you guys see any good players, just let them know. We're all here. Coach Lanning, he talked about everyone who this win meant to, and I want to talk about some of the people who made this possible, because it was everybody around here, and you see it on the field, and you see it with the coach, and you see it with the players, but you don't see Jason Harris and the ticket staff behind the scenes that are getting it done for a Autzen Stadium largest attendance of all time, over 60,000 fans in attendance. You don't see it from the marketing department and Brooke Robinson's marketing department getting it done. You don't see it from the entire creative team and Scoot Anderson and Ian McFarland and all of the creative people that are here at the University of Oregon, the entire sports information staff. There's so many more people that mean so much to this program, that get to relish in the win that happened on Saturday, that make it possible. And most importantly, it was you, the fans, who really got it done. There's so many people that were involved in how Saturday went down, how this entire week went down around the university. And to everyone who makes it possible, big thank yous around the entire athletic department and the entire Oregon community, because this is a big community moment to be able to sit in and and celebrate in. And it really means a lot to me and everybody here at the university, and it was a really, really, really big win on Saturday. It's a big win for the quarterback, too. Seems to play his best in the biggest moments. Dylan Gabriel, we're getting to his postgame when we return. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
You say you'd never give in to a meltdown and never fill your feed with kid photos. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it and never let them run wild through the grocery store. So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, no, it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when a kid gets into an unlocked car and can't get out. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I'm coming home to the place that I remember. Back to the land of my first love. Would you spread wide your arms for this wayward son?
It was picturesque at Autzen Stadium on Saturday. It really was. It was the quintessential Oregon game. You got the first half when the sun was still out. You got to see up from the press box over the edge of Autzen Stadium, the trees changing. And then the night came for the second half, and it was all business. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. And the black uniforms for Oregon, once the night fell, oh my goodness, they looked pristine. Dylan Gabriel looked good in them. Dylan Gabriel, big-time performance this week for the quarterback from Oregon. 23 for 34, 341 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also ran for a touchdown and 32 yards on the ground. Good enough for the co-offensive player of the week in the Big Ten Conference. Well-deserved for Dylan Gabriel, who just seems to play really good in the biggest of games. He has throughout his entire career, and it transfers over to Oregon when Oregon is playing at their best in what was a really hostile environment for a really good opposing team in Ohio State. The quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, he talked with the media post-game, and he also showed off some of his musical chops. Yeah, Dylan Gabriel, here he is.
Dylan, what was going through your mind on that last drive, and then what can you guys take from this win going forward the rest of the season?
Yeah, through that drive, just know we need points, but, really knew we had 3 and wanted to get 6 or 7, of course, but got a lot of belief and trust in Atticus and the field goal unit, and then just with these kind of games, I think you find ways to win, just as we have in games prior. But we all knew what we were getting into, a dogfight and 2 heavyweights going at it. But that's what college football is all about. We're excited for that opportunity and took advantage of it.
Bill, we talked during the week about putting safeties in conflict. You do that on the touchdown run.
Mm-hmm.
Walk me through what you're seeing to keep it once the mesh charge happens, and then once you get the matchup you're looking for, how you're able to shake the safety and obviously hit the end zone.
Yeah, I think schematically we did a good job early in the week of finding matchups we liked. But they're a damn good football team, so you got to take it while you can and, just great downfield blocking. Reading that end defender and trying to make them pay for it. But they played their butt off, and they're an extremely talented team that made you earn everything. But to go to the beginning of the week, I just wanted to see how you were, James, and I know we were talking about it. I'm not, but I just wanted to get a post game, maybe one word answer of how you feel.
They teach objectivity.
I like that.
Dylan, you have as much experience as anyone. How much did that help you in a game where you just have to keep answering drive after drive?
I think naturally you're put in situations, never the same, but pretty similar. And you just use your knowledge from past experiences to your advantage. And, I think I've been in many games where it came down to a drive or two, and times you need points in the red area, and things don't change in that end. It just magnifies in big games of third down, fourth down, red area touchdowns. Continue to be really good on first and second, so you're in manageables. But I just think in all, we up front as a unit, we came together and found a way, and I tried to use my knowledge, as best as I can with this team and our guys. But we all help each other because they played a bunch of ball as well.
Yeah, Dylan, can you pull the curtain back a little bit and tell us what it was like in that locker room post-game?
Well, I can't give you all the secrets, but I will say it was just a lot of fun. Winning is fun, and there's a lot of joy in winning, to be frank with you. But, I think these are moments that are just a tad bit that you can enjoy, right? We know this is just a step for us in the right direction. And a big win because we played a great team, and they, like I said, they're a great team that challenges you on offense, defense, and special teams. So we're going to enjoy it. Tomorrow we got recovery circuit, got to wake up, just like everyone. Sun rises tomorrow, and you got to go earn it. That's the beauty of the game we play.
I caught a glimpse of you coming off the field at the tunnel, and you were on another level than I think I've ever seen you. Just super amped. Just what did that moment mean to you, and how has it felt to just be so embraced by this community here?
Yeah, a lot of F-bombs, but rightfully so. I know how much time and effort, everyone puts into this, and that goes from coaches, players, people, support staff within this building that, make the whole show go. And like I said, there's joy in winning, and you love to see your team succeed. So just in that moment, I take time to appreciate, everyone who's, somehow helped us get to this point. Like I said, it's when you win against a great opponent, you enjoy it for that time, and so be it. We wake up tomorrow.
Walk me through what you're thinking as Ohio State's going down, right, and getting into field goal range, and then the big penalty happens, and then the field rush. Just take us through all that a little bit in your mind.
Yeah, just coming together with the boys, watching the game, and you're on the edge of your seats, but you got ultimate, belief in the guys on the field and defense, and they actually beat us in 2 minutes this week, so I had confidence in them, and I really couldn't tell you. Clock strikes zero, you just enjoy it, and that's with every win. That's with every game. You just know how hard it is to win on a consistent basis. That's because they got scholarship players too, so it's competitive. You got to make plays.
Dylan, I think 6 weeks ago you guys got the win against Idaho, but a lot of questions internally, obviously externally, but especially internally, kind of about where you guys were.
More externally, but
sure.
Sorry.
But what were? Can you draw a straight line from how you guys went from there to here, and then if you're drawing a line, where does that line lead after this?
If I could tell you, I would. But the truth is, we're just so rooted in the process and in what we're doing. I don't think I saw anyone flinch, whether it's the way in which we won, but just want the want to get better and continue to grow. I appreciate that as a player. You see, staff just acting the same. Whether it's a win or a loss. Thank goodness. We've been on the plus side, but you understand how hard it is. So looking at the different ways to go to the doctor and get better in every area, But you just see everyone continue to grow. And I think you can see that from week 1 to now, just how much more confident players are playing, but also, us as a team kind of, forming together as one.
Dylan, you've been coast to coast with 3 programs.
Morgan Wallen. Coast to coast, I ain't cut it. Nothing.
How does this win rank or feel among all the big ones you've had over your career?
I would just say you appreciate, year to year. Each team is different. Each place is different and unique. So you appreciate that and the difference. I think I've learned a bunch at each stop, and more importantly, who I am as a person. And there's real development in that as a player, but also as a person, through those times. And I just now at this point in my career, I just appreciate, where I'm at, the present, the people that work so hard to allow us to do what we do. And I never take a day for granted. And that's because I know, how hard it is to do what we do as well, and the time we put in and the grind. But it's something I love and have been addicted to from the beginning. It's kind of been my way of living. So, just to answer your question, I've loved every bit of it.
What was the key to getting Evan involved? And Dan was up here a moment ago kind of complimenting the way he's carried his business, even in games where he hasn't been as involved. Can you maybe speak to that part too?
Yeah, just taking advantage of matchups. And, that's, it's hard. You have a lot of talent, and there's only one ball. So you have to distribute it as best you can. But at the same time, you want to be in advantage matchups. And, today was his day, and he took full advantage of it. And I think you look at that from every game. Sometimes it's going to be a T Ferg night. Sometimes it's going to be Evan, Tez, Trey, whoever it may be, Jordan James and Noah on the ground. I think when you look at it like that, it's a mixture of trying to take advantage of matchups or, isolation, but also trying to get everyone involved. I think you try to balance that as best as possible. But, I'll give that to Coach Stein as well to handle.
Dylan Gabriel, strong performance on Saturday. But Ohio State was not the only top 5 team in town, and they're not the only team that left probably a little disappointed. We've got head coach Graeme Abel after a strong showing this weekend. The final homestand joining the show when we return on Duck Inside on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear autumn leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Take on fall in the powerful Toyota Tundra or tackle trails in a Tacoma. Head to Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear autumn leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Take on fall in the powerful Toyota Tundra or tackle trails in a Tacoma. Head to Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and come on now, so good to see you real.
Welcome back inside the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano, Coach Graeme Abel.
What we doing?
Coach, did you feel sort of the energy around the entire athletic department this weekend? Did it feel a little different for you?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot going on, wasn't there? Yeah, no, it was awesome. I mean, just being around town and things like that. And, you know, we had to go pick our kids up on Saturday morning for practice just because of the parking. And when there's a student walking around Eugene in a toga at 6:30 in the morning, you figure there's probably something different going on.
It was electric. We called it Mighty Big Week around here because everybody was at home. Volleyball got it started. They got a ranked win on Wednesday, and you guys followed it up. You hosted an undefeated number 5 ranked Michigan State squad with a backup goalkeeper, and were able to keep them off the board for the entire match and get a 0-0 draw. That's a strong performance from your group against a really talented team.
Yeah, I mean, we were disappointed we didn't win the game. Obviously, at the crossbar, at the post, in terms of that piece, and a few good opportunities. Yeah, no doubt about that. They're a good team. They've been able to do that for the last couple of years. But again, we walked away disappointed we didn't win the game. We felt they'll feel they created chances to win the game, but we felt we created chances to win the game as well. And so again, you know. As a coach, you're never satisfied, right, in terms of that piece. And but our overall group, disappointed we weren't able to win the game.
Carly Cormack, after the game, she said that she sort of viewed it as an upset because it was such a talented team. Do you feel that way? Do you feel like it was an upset for your team to have such a strong result against a really talented team coming in and show out in front of your home fans?
No, because I see the talent in our group every single day, and I don't think that the difference between the top teams in the country and where the rankings and everybody else is that significant. So I don't view it as an upset because I see the potential in our group every single day.
Especially the result, talented group, that talent and depth was showcased because Maddie Goldberg, she had a red card in the game prior, I mean, she couldn't play in that match against Michigan State. Anna Solomon in net, she stepped in and she played really strong.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said earlier about her being a backup. We don't view her as a backup. We view her as another number 1 goalkeeper. Same with Julia, same with Leah. They all 4 of them work exceptionally hard every single week. Unfortunately, with the goalkeepers, we can only play one of them. We don't split them or anything like that. We play one goalkeeper. And Anna Solomon is someone who has progressed over her, 2.5 years here in Eugene, and had an injury early in her first year. And it was a wrist injury, so as a goalkeeper you can't really do much in terms of that piece, but has really invested in herself, and someone who has an incredible attitude of how she goes about it and her learning. And we've got an off day today, but she's floating around the building trying to do video. We can't do video with her because it's an off day, but that's the type of person that she is. And to see her have the performance that she did on Thursday was a massive reward for her and all the hard work that she's put in.
In that match against Michigan State, we've talked about over the coming weeks or previous weeks about playing the complete 90 minutes, having that ball pressure for the entire game, coming out with that same fight in the first half as you do in the second half, and carrying that throughout the contest. Did you see that from your group on Thursday?
Absolutely. I mean, we changed up kind of the look of the team a little bit in terms of the shape, and we did that over 2 days, and I thought our kids implemented that exceptionally well. Just a few different roles and responsibilities in terms of going about that, but no, I thought we were good. I thought we pushed them all the way into the end of the game, looking for the win. So no, performance wise, we were happy with it.
When you do change shape, is that internal, focusing on how can your team best perform, or is it more how can we best defend what the opponent is going to bring to the table?
It's a bit of both. And it's how can we put the opponent in areas where we can win the ball, wherever it may be on the field. Obviously, we want to win the ball as high up the field as possible. But there's certain teams that like to do certain things, so you try to negate that with your shape, but then you look at them, when you win the ball, where can you play from there? And obviously, if you win the ball high up the field, you're closer to the opposition's goal. But also, when you win it, what options you have in transition when you win the ball.
Yesterday, it was the match against Michigan. It was senior day. Just the emotions of senior day. Does it ever get easier going through senior day ceremonies?
No, I mean, this group is so special because the majority of them all came in, for 1 year, with us, and and the recruiting process was quick with them all, and they all wanted to, the attraction of Oregon, of something different, New York, Mississippi, Georgia, where else where did the transfers come from? Japan via Santa Clara, and then obviously Maddie, who's been around for the last 4 years as well. So a very, very different group, but all awesome individuals that have added to our locker room in such a positive way. Within those four walls, they're just really good human beings, and whether they go, I said this to the group at the end of the game, whether they go play professionally or whether they go do something else after school professionally, really looking forward to seeing what they do because they're all awesome people.
In the match itself, it was tightly contested throughout. You talk about the inches that make up a difference, whether it's a crossbar against Michigan State or it's Haley McWhirter's chance that gets sat on literally at the goal line. Those are so tight, but they make such a huge difference. But your team was literally inches away on senior day from breaking through. Those are such tight, key moments in individual matches, aren't they?
Yeah, I think, I don't follow other sports enough to know how momentum changes and things like that. But in our sport, the momentum changes. The swings and within a game, can happen within moments to change a game. And we felt as though we had that momentum in the first probably 28, 29, 30 minutes. And going back and looking at the film last night and this morning, we probably should have been free and clear after 30 minutes of the game. And that's a lesson for us, that when we create those chances early in the game, and that we've got to put them away, and then we get to manage the rest of the game at that point. But yeah, you look in the second half, they obviously got back into it at the end of the first half, and then we've created a couple more chances there at the midway through the second half. And yeah, if obviously that goal goes in and you're 2-1 up, then it's probably a different outcome of the game. But it didn't.
Now you're going on the road for the rest of the season. There's still a lot to play for.
Yep.
Big Ten tournament still in play. Top 12 teams make it. Your next opponent coming up against Nebraska on the road, 5 p.m. on Big Ten Plus. With that goal in mind of qualifying for postseason play, does it make these games down the stretch mean a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, the stakes are higher, right, in terms of that piece. But I think in terms of the messaging from us and within the group is, we try and win every single game that we play. So, the understanding now is that we have to go win those games. We don't have the option to tie them. We could potentially tie one, but we need to win two and tie one. That's the bare minimum for us. So it's understanding that piece, but it's not getting too high or too low in terms of that piece, and making sure that we try to execute the way that we want to execute. And if we do all the right things, then we'll get the result that we need.
Keys to success: Nebraska, Iowa, coming up this weekend. Where are they?
I'll not be too boring again in terms of saying the very best version of us. But no, I mean, we've got to make sure we defend well. Whenever you go away from home, don't give the opponent anything when they're a home team, and keep creating the goal scoring opportunities. And we've just got to be a little bit more clinical in front of the goal and put the ball away.
Coach Graeme Abel going on the road, looking to take down some Midwestern schools. Coach,
appreciate you.
Thanks for joining us.
Anytime.
We're stepping aside, still wrapping up what was a mighty, mighty big weekend in Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial.
Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Back here in the Country Financial Studio on Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Oregon gets what was a huge win over Ohio State, 32-31 at Autzen Stadium over the weekend. But it is a short week coming up into this week. Purdue at 5 p.m. on Friday on the road. Big Ten teams have not had a lot of success traveling 2+ time zones. Oregon is going to have to make sure they are locked in against a Purdue team that took Illinois to the brink, took a ranked Illinois team to overtime at Illinois' home stadium. So Oregon's got to be prepared for this one against the Boilermakers on Friday. And speaking of Illinois, we have kick time 2 weeks from now for Oregon against Illinois here at Autzen. It'll be on CBS at 12:30 local here Pacific, which means that on the Oregon Sports Network, we will have pregame starting at 10:30 in the morning before that Oregon-Illinois, which if it was played right now, would be a top 25 matchup at Autzen Stadium. You heard Coach Abel just talk about the depth of soccer in the Big Ten. There's a lot of depth in football in talent in the Big Ten as well. Coach Lanning, he'll meet with the media for his weekly press conference later today. Joey will have it for you on the show tomorrow. Joey will also be talking with Coach Ulmer, and he'll probably be talking about Mimi Collier, who took home the Big Ten Player of the Week this week in her 2 matches against ranked teams, 42 kills, 22 digs, and 8 blocks, and helped Oregon with 25 kills make a set 5 comeback victory over Washington yesterday. Yeah, big time. Go Ducks.
Let's ask their parents a lot of questions.
Why can't people fly?
Gravity.
Is the moon really made of cheese?
Yep, cream cheese.
When can I move into a big kid's car seat?
For some questions, parents may not have the answer, but that's okay. They can't know everything, but knowing the right seat for